How's it going, everybody? I decided to do this video after I spent a few weeks in Snowdonia and the Lake District in some rough weather, and more precisely in strong winds in the duplex. If you're like me, pretty new to this shelter, coming from a traditional tent, followed the usual instructions to set it up with the trekking poles at 48 inches, the duplex guide out nice and high off the ground to avoid any kind of condensation inside, and you set it up that way in a strong wind, you'll more than likely have a rough time. Yep, I didn't sleep at all that night. As a matter of fact, it was my first night in the duplex. I was in Snowdonia. A storm rolled in that was packing wind gusts that were 40, 50 miles an hour. Rain got inside the tent. My trekking pole kept coming loose every time the wind picked up and was blowing the stake out of the ground. Oh, it was nuts. So if you might be camping in the duplex in some decent winds and rain, you'll find this video helpful. With a few little tweaks and adjustments, you can definitely make the duplex a lot more windworthy. All right, let's find a place to pitch it and get right into it. I think this spot will do right here. All right. All right, now that we got this guy set up, the first thing that you need to do when you're pitching it is you need to make sure that you orient the duplex correctly into the wind due to how the storm doors are designed. To save on weight, Zpacks didn't place a zipper on the storm doors, and instead they overlapped them. If you pitch the tent the wrong way into the wind, you'll allow the wind to enter the storm doors and cause a wind tunnel inside, and things are going to get very uncomfortable. You'll notice in this video, the wind enters the storm doors, causes a wind tunnel, and all sorts of unhappy times. Thankfully, there's an easy way to make sure that you orient the tent correctly into the wind. Zpacks place their labels on the side of the tent that has the overlapping storm doors. By pitching this side, so the side of the tent with the labels, into the wind, you'll ensure that the wind wraps around the storm doors and doesn't enter the duplex. All right, moving on to point number 2. You want to pitch the tent as low to the ground as you can get it. Think of it as a sports car. You want it aerodynamic and hugging the ground. That means setting the trekking poles at about 110 centimeters, which is roughly 43 inches. And when it comes to the 4 perimeter stakes, I usually guy them out about 2 to 3 inches from the line locks. As far as the vestibule stakes are concerned, I usually find that about 10 to 12 inches from the vestibule door is about the sweet spot depending on terrain. All right, guys, I want to talk about the stakes a little bit too, especially if you're going to be camping in some rough winds. You need something that's going to hold the tent down to the ground nice and sturdy. The ones that I really like to use are the groundhogs. But I also understand that these are heavier and they can take up more space. The ones I don't like to use are the ones that look like nails, or they call them toothpicks, I think, or some such name. A good compromise are these guys. These are the titanium V stakes. These are made by Tokes, but other companies make them. They're light, but they're also very finicky. So you have to watch out when you shove them in the ground. You've got to be very careful, or they can bend very easily. And also, when it comes to putting the pegs in the ground, you want to make sure that you put them at about 20 degrees is roughly the sweet spot. 45 is a little bit too much, but you definitely don't want to go straight down into the ground. That's not going to hold the tent very securely, and if you have a good wind, it'll yank them right out. By the way, don't be afraid to really crank down a good bit on the guide lines, especially the ones with the vestibule doors. You don't want that fabric flapping around all night and keeping you up. By the way, that last piece of advice was given to me by my buddy Hunter. So Hunter, thanks, man. That helped out a lot. Now this is what the tent should look like in the wind when you set it up like we just talked about. As you can see, the wind doesn't enter the duplex, creating any turbulence, and the shelter looks nice and solid. So I wanted to show you guys that even with the tent set up like this, nice and low to the ground, you still have plenty of room over here for the tub. There's probably about 8 inches, so you're not going to have any problems with water getting in. And you can always adjust the tub on the side of the tent by pulling up on the toggle here if you think it's too low. So with these simple little tweaks, it'll definitely help on a windy night. But if you think you're going to be camping in some insane weather, I would probably go get a pyramid tent like the Duo Mid or the Solo Mid XL, or at least upgrade to the thicker Cuban fiber on the Duplex, such as the Spruce Green, which is I think 0.75 DCF. All right, everyone. I hope this video helped. I tried to make it as short, sweet, and to the point as possible, but if you have any questions, please leave me those in the comment section below. And also, if you try this technique out in some windy weather, I'd love to hear about that as well. So if you could come back and comment, that would be awesome. It's getting a little bit chilly, guys, so I'm going to finish setting up camp over here and settle in for the night. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I look forward to seeing you either out in the wild or perhaps on another Gear Talk video. See ya!